All right, steps 4 through 6 on how to buy a house. Hang tight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're here for it.
Okay, Bex, what, we don't have any updates. No snow, no tan. We're in the shoulder season.
Yeah.
It was cold this weekend.
Yeah, it was chilly. We got some rain. Did we get some snow up in the mountains? Did we?
I went up to Snowbird yesterday just to drive because it was such a pretty day.
Yeah.
They probably got 4 inches down at the base.
There you go.
And then I saw these guys walking up with their skis, and I'm like, hey, am I doing that?
Sneaky, sneaky.
Like when you're 18 or 19, you're bored and you got all the energy, do it. But I'm like, I'm waiting for the lifts to open. So yeah, they on the top. I bet, I don't know, but they were going to find somewhere to ski. So
Heck yeah.
All right, give us an update for the week.
Okay, so we're opening on a good market today. Conventional rates are 6,125.
Hey, wow.
Yep, and then advertised rate you're seeing into the 5s, 5.5. I saw this morning coming in with some type of a buy down. And then on the FHA side, you're seeing 5.99 as a starting, and then 5.375 is the advertised rate that I saw.
Buy down.
With a buy down. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're hanging steady in the 5s and 6s. So.
Yeah, and I would say the market's going to kind of stay there for a little bit, especially through the winter. You know, that's sometimes a little quieter. So as rates are still sitting at those lower levels, it's a good time if you've been on the fence to re-enter the market because you don't have as much competition as if the rates stay that low or go even lower. You're going to see more competition come in. You're going to see less negotiations ability, and you might even see an uptick in home prices. So
interesting. Now
is a sneaky pocket that if you're in the market, it's a good time to look at things.
Good. All right. Well, let's talk about steps 4 through 6. Right. Okay, let's do a review.
Yes.
So step 1 is get pre-approved and make an offer. Step 2 is that you're under contract. And then step 3 is?
The loan estimate, initial disclosures that you sign.
All right. So that's initial. All right. So let's go to step 4. What's step 4?
Yeah. So step 4 is where you order your home inspection and you order the appraisal. And there is a difference between those two items.
Big difference. Yes. Why don't you hit home appraisal?
So one thing is the home inspection, typically you pay out of pocket. The home appraisal is factored into your closing costs. And if you work with Cliff and I as a team, as a courtesy to his clients, we actually give you a credit at closing that helps cover that appraisal. So as long as you go through the full process and you close on the loan, then we cover that appraisal for you. If for some reason after the appraisal is ordered, you decide to cancel the transaction, that's where you'd have to pay out of pocket, which is why we typically don't order the appraisal until after you've done your home inspection. Because then you can look through that report and see if there's anything that needs to be renegotiated or any concerns. Once we have the go-ahead after that point, we order the appraisal. So that way there's less chance of you needing to cancel and then us covering it at closing for you.
Good. So the home inspection is going to be done during your, what we call in Utah, due diligence period. I think in Florida, I think it is called the home inspection period. I can't remember now. Man, it's been a while. Anyways, but in different states, it's called different things. But during that due diligence period, yes, we absolutely want to schedule a home inspection. And for my clients, I usually have a couple of companies that I recommend, but I do the scheduling for them. If my clients can't come on site, I usually go on site and get them on FaceTime. Normally my clients come after the home inspection is done. But a home inspector, usually a home inspection is going to cost anywhere between $300 and $500, depending on the size of the home. So just count on that as an expense, right? $300 to $500, but 100% recommend that you get the home inspection done.
It's very slick too. They usually give you a nice binder with a lot of detail about the home versus the home appraisal. It's a couple pages long. And it is to assess the estimated value of the property. It doesn't go as detailed into the specifics of the different pieces of the home.
Yeah, so a home inspector that I like to use, they also include a free radon test in Utah. That's important.
Nice, yeah.
So they leave a tester out in the basement for 2 days and they come back, and that's at no extra cost. So they throw that in. So that's a really good test. So they're looking for, structural damage, right? What's wrong with the roof? How old is the roof? They're looking at your HVAC, all the electronics they're going to test. Is the home up to code? Because some houses are older and the owners at the time haven't brought it up to standards of today. So they're going to look for all that. They're going to see, hey, look, I think there's moisture in the air. Maybe mold. Utah is not a real big problem with mold, but like states like Florida and the Northeast are going to have a mold problem. So they're going to check that. and they're going to recommend, hey, I think there may be mold, so I would get that tested. Or the roof looks to be about 20 years old, I would have a professional roofer look at it. So that's kind of like your first step. Then you get that home inspection. The company that I like to use to actually call you on property. Again, if my clients can't go, I go put them on FaceTime. He goes through the highlights because, like Bex mentioned, it's a 60-page report.
Yeah.
And he's going to say, hey, these are the things that I really think you need to pay attention to. This could really, and then as a real estate agent, I say, okay, let's look at the list.
Yeah.
And it's a long list, right? There's always something wrong with the house.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a perfect house.
Perfect. Yeah.
So we go through the list and we say, we can probably take care of these repairs. The roof is 25 years old. It needs to be replaced. Then we start negotiating now with the sellers. Hey, look, we're already going to put a lot of money down on this. We're already going to put a lot of money into the house. Could you help us out by fixing the roof, having it completed, or giving us an allowance to have the roof completed? So those are negotiations that take place with the home inspection.
Yep.
So the home inspection has nothing to do with how much your home is worth.
Yep.
Just telling you what's wrong, what you need to pay attention to. That home appraisal will inform you how much your house is worth.
And the home appraisal really is more so for the lender. We want to know what the assessed value is by a third party so that we know, what risk we have on our behalf based on that appraisal amount. So, and when you go under contract, there's some deadlines that Cliff will help you negotiate with the seller. And one of those is the due diligence deadline. So you want to do that home inspection within that time frame. And then there's a finance and appraisal deadline that will make sure the appraisal is done and it's returned to you so that you have time, if you need to negotiate based on how those reports come back. You have the time to do that.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to make sure your real estate agent and the loan officer are communicating, because these deadlines and things that need to be done. Bex and I were fortunate because kind of in the same office, I guess. She has a little office, but we're close to communication. And I've worked with some loan officers where it's very hard to get a hold of them. And I'm like, okay, we have a deadline coming up. Is everything in order?
The communication's not there.
Good communication is important. So you're, two big parties that you want to choose well as a real estate agent and a loan officer. Good mortgage company, good real estate brokerage, and those are going to help you through the transaction to make it smooth as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once we do that home inspection and the home appraisal, then we move on to step 6, which is we submit your file to our underwriters. And they usually return the file within 24 hours. If it's really busy, it could take them 48 hours to review all of the facets of the file. But we usually plan on about that time frame. So we get all of that information submitted to them. And then once they review your file, they send it back to us with what's called a conditional loan approval. So that way you know that the loan terms are going to be satisfied, everything meets guidelines. With a conditional loan approval, that typically means that there's conditions that we need to finalize. So sometimes that's where we come back to you as the borrower or the buyer and say, hey, we need some extra documents for this or that. Very common for that to happen. So don't be surprised if halfway through the process, someone's asking you for more documents. That's very common.
Yeah. I think Sun American, you have your own in-house underwriters.
We do, yes.
So just keep in mind that if it's a brokerage and they don't have in-house, they have to outsource that. That may take a little bit more time.
Longer. Yep, that's a very good point.
Just keep that in mind that could happen.
And the nice thing about us having our in-house underwriters is I can literally pick up the phone and call them. If there's a condition on there that we weren't expecting or is not clear, we can call them and talk through it with them. And we do have a lot more flexibility on the timelines because we have in-house underwriters and they're a little bit more, I would say, dedicated to the process and to your specific file versus a broker. They could be dealing with multiple other companies that you have to email back and forth and it can take a couple of days to get information on.
So just keep that in mind. That may happen if you have a mortgage broker like that. Okay, so steps 4, 5, and 6. Order home inspection, home appraisal. Step 5.
Submit the loan to underwriting.
And then step 6 is
conditional loan approval.
Yeah. So, and then next week we'll discuss 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. Getting into your home. So, again, a lot of people are scared of this process. It happens every single day.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get the right people in your corner to walk you through it. Make sure it's as smooth as possible for a stressful situation.
We gotcha.
Okay. So next week we'll talk about 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.